Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a great evening. God, it was 72 degrees yesterday. Hard to take. Liked it. It's warm weather makes a big difference. Henry wasn't too pleased, but he'll get over it. It's supposed to turn cold at the end of the week. I see the big blizzard that everybody was 2 to 3 feet of snow all the way from Pennsylvania, Maryland, up through the New England and on into Canada has been pushed. The brunt of it will fall from Boston and north. So New York City, I don't know how much they're supposed to get, but maybe 3 to 6 inches, which is pretty good. I mean, you think about a 2 to 3 foot snowfall. That's major. That's pretty hard to get around in. So it's nice to have snow for a while. It's really, really pretty for 6, 8, 10 hours, and after that it gets real gray and gritty and messed up on the streets. So I'm glad the blizzard wasn't as bad as the weather services get everybody hyped up in anticipation for. Bad news sells, and what could be more catastrophic than snow in the winter, right? It's amazing to me how these people, hey, snowstorm's coming, could be a disaster. Give me a break. It's a snowstorm. It's winter. It's supposed to be. So anyway, but all the hype that we live with these days, just trying to get your attention. Watch me, watch me, watch me. Okay, we have news this morning. Durable orders plus 0.5%. Ex-transportation plus 0.7. This news, if as forecast, would be supported for the indexes, not so for the financials. Case Shiller, I don't think anybody pays any attention to it, plus 4.3. Consumer confidence, they will pay attention to at 96. Stock market's good, so that number's likely to be where it is, could be even higher. I'm thinking durable orders ex-transportation might be a little lower than forecast. New home sales, again, I don't think anybody pays a lot of attention to it, but at 450K, which is kind of the default number now. And Richmond Fed at 6. The E-minis reaction to this news will impact the trading in the financials, and the E-mini is pointed lower right now. So once the news is out of the way, we're down to the 2-year auction, and that almost always takes the market up. So I really like the long side of the market better. When I got started at 5 this morning, this looked like a pretty good buy area. We're going to put a question mark, depending on the early news, at 21. If that number comes in lower than forecast, 16 to 20 will be support as opposed to 12 to 16. But we're going to start out down here and see if we can't buy on the cheap, but we may have to move these up for 30 seconds across the board. I think the long side is the side to trade from. Okay, looking right here, we've got this high, we've got this high, we've got these highs, we've got these highs right in here. So this 24 to 28 is resistance. So 23 to 27 is sell 1. That's where resistance is. Obviously, we'd like to get it done against 28 rather than 24. And then 31 to 03 for sell 2. News overnight was pretty limited. Not much going on. The only stock market that was up was Japan's. Everybody else's is sold. The Chinese stock market rally has been fueled by margin buying, and that shouldn't surprise anybody. This easy money, a lot of it finds its way into the stock markets, and margin leverage. You look at your interest rate, which you can borrow at. You look at what you expect the stock market to, how much you think you trade higher. You borrow the money and you put it into stocks. It's the way it works. Not only for the little guy, but for the great, big, large institutions too. They just have more money to play the game. Okay, so we have resistance in these areas right here, starting at 8, so 7 to 11, sell 1. The knob spread is holding in very, very well. Widened last night, so the long money, long-term money is still playing from the long side. Got volume at 27. Got this last rotate down at 24, so we'll try 21 to 25. On the idea that early news might be stronger than forecast or will be as forecast, and then 13 to 17 for buy 2. Gold and crude oil were pretty much unchanged overnight after yesterday's selling. Again, I think gold will be bought. We had a 75, 77 as our buy zone. We're at 82 right now, so we'll play for a trading range just like we had it, buy one, where we were last night. I don't think people will be dumping gold. Our 85, 87, let them get stops above the overnight session, and then basically 90, 92 for sell 2. The fear that's associated with everything right now really precludes much in the way of selling gold. Between your government, between your currency, you know, we've never had to really do it in the United States. Europeans know how to play currencies, and they also know how to play the metals. They have much more skill at that than we do as a country and as traders. And it's not that they have any more inherent intelligence than we do. It's just that they've had to do it for a much longer period of time than we have. We're probably better versed at bonds and stocks than they are. Okay, the euro was pretty strong last night. We talked about this is where resistance was, and we had 113 even, 13.10, and we had 35 to 40 as our number 2 sell zone, and that worked out pretty well at the number 2 level. Short covering, the Swiss franc is getting some back and forth movement. So basically selling against 50, then selling against 75 will be where the 2 sells will be. On the buy side, we had London's low down here at 1250, so we'll make 40 to 50 buy 1. It's where support is. I really like the short side a hell of a lot better. And 112, 112.10 for buy 2. But I think the biggest dynamic that we face in the euro is short covering. Crude oil is pretty quiet overnight. I believe the Saudi funeral is today, if I'm not mistaken. And it is a B pattern. Yesterday we had all this volume. Look at how volume most recent in the market's memory attracts. So we have a London high at 45.75. So 50 to 75, sell 1, just where resistance is, then 46, 46 and a quarter, sell 2. On the buy side, we'll give it a little room to the downside, make 50 to 75, let them get stops below the overnight session low, then 44, 44 and a quarter for buy 2. With all the principles in Riyadh today, I don't think that we'll have a lot of play in crude, but I do think long term we're headed lower. It's interesting that the next king of Saudi Arabia is already, he's 70 years old, and they say he has dementia. And that's kind of, so who's really in control of the throne over there? Who's the power? Always likes for, you know, why would you have somebody as your head of state that has dementia, unless he's just a figurehead? My guess is what he is. So who controls the Saudis? Kingdom right now. Okay, we have this break down here at 34 from yesterday. Then we have down at 30. So we're really in the same. I think, you know, one of the things that we see is this early rundown before the day session open quite often is the low. So our first little band of support is going to be 30 to 35. So we'll put a buy 1 at 35, give or take, and a buy 2 at 30, give or take. The last rotate up stopped at 45, so 44, 46, sell 1, 49, 51, sell 2. The news today is significant. Durable orders, if as forecast, up 0.5%. Ex-transportation plus 0.7, that will be the focus. Case Shiller plus 4.3. Background, nobody really trades it, but that would be appreciation in real estate prices at 4.3%. In our 20th largest cities, consumer confidence, they will pay attention to 96 because the stock market's holding in. This number could come in higher than forecast. This number, durable orders, ex-transportation, come in lower than forecast. New home sales won't react a lot to it, but again, background, if it comes in at 450, that would show at least, you know, sales this month were the same as they were last month. And then Richmond at 6, which I don't think anybody pays attention to. So durable orders, ex-transportation 1, consumer confidence 2. And I do think the first trade of the day is a short to see if we can extend the overnight sessions range. Okay, it'll take about 20 minutes to get everything up and posted. I'm going to get busy on that. I'll be back as soon as I can. In the interim, good trading. Back with you shortly.